What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! OCG TCG video. Today, guys, we are going to be going over the new Blue Eyes White Dragon support that is set to release in Battles of Chaos. If I'm going to be honest with you guys, was not really expecting Blue Eyes support to be released in this set. You know, normally when it comes to Blue Eyes and their support, they normally get their own set for their new support, but I guess they decided to change it up with the Mega Tins, which obviously that was supposed to be the case because of the theme of the deck, but they also decided to change it up with the main core set because it looks like Dark Magician and Blue Eyes White Dragon are going to share a main core set, which is pretty cool. But I'm very excited to be covering these cards with you guys, so without further ado, let's not waste any more time and let's jump right into it. So as per usual with the card game videos, I'll go over the monsters first and the extra deck monsters and then end it off with the spells and traps. And the first card that we're going to be going over in this video is probably my favorite card out of this entire set, and that is Blue Eyes Jet Dragon. And yes, you heard me right, they are finally printing Kaiba's Blue Eyes Jet into an effect monster, which I still can't believe they're actually doing it. I mean, I'm surprised that they haven't already done this because of all the Blue Eyes White Dragon support we've gotten in the past, but am I mad about it? Nope. And let me just say this, it was better late than never in my opinion. It's a level 8 light dragon effect monster with 3000 attack and 0 defense. Typical Blue Eyes stat line except for the defense being 0, which is not normally the Blue Eyes standard for defense. Its effect is you can only use the first and third effect of this card's name once per turn. You must have Blue Eyes White Dragon on your field or in your graveyard to activate these effects, which is not that hard at all. You can use trade in to get Blue Eyes to your graveyard, or you can use one of the stones to get Blue Eyes to your field, so it's not going to be that hard at all. If a card on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon this card from your graveyard if it was there when they were destroyed, or hand. Even if not, the second effect is other cards you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects, and the third effect is at the start of the damage step, if this card battles, you can target one card your opponent controls, return it to the hand. So this is actually a pretty nice card for the Blue Eyes archetype in my opinion. It's actually a pretty good card. It special summons itself from the graveyard or field by just the card being destroyed on your field, which is easy to do because you can do it yourself, which is nice. It gives protection, which is always nice. And then the third effect, to be able to target a card and bounce it back to your opponent's hand, is always nice. And that can essentially make it to where your plays can go even further into trying to destroy your opponent and try to make sure they run out of life points as fast as possible. So honestly, this is actually a pretty solid Blue Eyes card in my opinion. I could honestly see this card being played in a Blue Eyes deck, in my opinion, of course. So that's a pretty cool card, but this is going to lead us into the next monster and the last effect monster for this video, and that is the Tyrant of D. So they're actually upgrading the Lord of D, which is actually pretty cool. It's a level 4 Dark Spellcaster effect monster with 1200 attack and 1100 defense. Its effect is you can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. The first effect is you can send one Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand or deck to the graveyard, special summon this card from your hand. So this hits you another way to put Blue Eyes into your graveyard to summon the Blue Eyes Jet Dragon. So I guess you don't have to use trade in, you could just use the Tyrant of D, so that's pretty nice. And the second effect is you can discard one Blue Eyes White Dragon or one card that specifically lists in its text, then target one Blue Eyes monster in your graveyard, special summon it, and its third effect is if you control a Blue Eyes monster, you choose the attack targets for your opponent's attacks. So the second effect to be able to get a Blue Eyes from the graveyard is nice because you can just send one there, then you can send another one there, and then you can bring it back. So that's actually pretty nice. And then the third effect, I mean, sure, that's fine. More than likely, your opponent is going to try to play around that to where it doesn't really matter what your opponent chooses. But to make it to where they have to kind of strategize around being able to get around it and maybe protect some of your more powerful cards that they might be trying to go after, is pretty nice, but more than likely your opponent is going to be able to set up a board state, or they're going to try to set up a board state to where it doesn't really matter what you choose as the attack target. More than likely, it's going to try to do the same result. So it's a nice effect, but it's not going to really matter that much in my opinion. But overall, I think the Tyrant of D is actually pretty cool, and just to see the Lord of D getting an upgrade is actually really, really cool in my opinion. But that's going to be it for the effect monsters, and we're going to jump into the extra deck monsters. Or I should just say new extra deck monster, because we only got one new extra deck monster for the Blue Eyes archetype, and that is a card that we have not seen since the original Duel Monsters anime. Is one of the rare Blue Eyes monsters that has never been printed, and that was Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon. They're finally deciding to print this card into the OCG and TCG, and my god, it took them long enough to be able to print this card. I don't know why it took them so long to print this card, but like I mentioned with the Blue Eyes Jet Dragon, am I mad about it? Absolutely not. I love the design of Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon, and the fact that they're finally printing it is super cool. It's a level 8 light dragon fusion effect monster with 3400 attack and 2900 defense, so a pretty good attack and defense line for a fusion monster. Its materials are Blue Eyes White Dragon and 1 dragon monster, so very easy to summon. It must be either fusion summon or special summon from your extra deck by attributing 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon equipped with a fusion monster, which obviously this is a nod to back in the anime. Kaiba was able to summon this by having Blue Eyes White Dragon equipped with Tyrant Dragon, and that's how he was able to go into this monster. So nice little nod there to be able to summon it with like Blue Eyes equipped with Tyrant Dragon, or at least that's what I believe they want you to do it, but you can do it at any fusion monster, so that's pretty nice. It has 3 effects. The first effect is unaffected by trap cards, which it's some sort of protection, which is nice either way. I wish it was maybe something more prevalent, since trap cards are not really the most prevalent. It's probably the weakest out of like all of the 3 like mechanics of monsters and spells, but any type of protection is always good. The second effect is this card can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each, and the third effect is once per turn if this card battles. At the end of the damage step, you can target 1 trap in your graveyard, set it to your spell and trap card zone. So it can attack all monsters, which is nice, especially for, you know, it having 3400 attack points. It can get over most any monster that your opponent probably controls, and then you're able to set a trap from your graveyard. So you can set an Imperial Order, a Solemn Judgment, Solemn Strike, Mirror Force. You can set any powerful trap card that you want that's in your graveyard to your spell and trap card zone. So that's pretty nice to be able to do that. So honestly, overall, it's not that bad of a card at all in my opinion. It gives some sort of protection. It can essentially go after all your opponent's monsters and has a good attack point stat to essentially make it worthwhile, and then you're able to set powerful trap cards from your graveyard to your field. So that's honestly a pretty nice effect in my opinion, and I'm just really glad to see this card finally get printed into the OCG and TCG. But that's going to be it for the extra deck monsters, and we're going to jump into the spells and traps. And the first card we're going to be going over is Ultimate Fusion, a quick play spell card with the effect of you can only activate 1 card with this card's name per turn. The first effect is during the main phase, fusion summon 1 fusion monster that lists Blue Eyes White Dragon or Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon as material by shuffling fusion monsters listed on it from your hand, field, or graveyard into the deck, including those listed Blue Eyes White Dragons or Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragons. Then you can destroy face-up cards your opponent controls up to the number of Blue Eyes White Dragon and Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragons used as material from the field. Excuse me, I about said from the summon. That would have been weird. This is just another fusion card for the Blue Eyes archetype, which is always nice to have. It gets you back your materials into your deck, so that way you can use them later on in the duel, which is nice. And then it's able to essentially be able to pop cards equal to the number of Blue Eyes White Dragon cards that you use for your fusion summon. So if you summon your Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon and you use 3 Blue Eyes White dragons, you can destroy 3 cards your opponent controls, which is always nice to have. Any sort of card that's able to destroy cards on the field is always nice to have. So it's a new fusion that allows you to be able to destroy cards and get you back resources into your deck to use later on the duel. That way you don't run out of your resources. So overall, a pretty nice fusion card for the Blue Eyes archetype. But with that being said, that's going to lead into the final card for this video, which is Apparition with Eyes of Blue. It's a continuous spell card with the effect of you can only activate 1 card with this card's name per turn. The first effect is when you activate this card, you can also reveal 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon in your hand. If you do, special summon 1 monster from your hand, and then once per turn, you can target 1 face-up monster you control, return that face-up monster to the hand, then you can apply one of these effects based on its original name. Blue Eyes White Dragon, special summon 1 monster from your hand, otherwise special summon 1 Blue Eyes monster from your hand. So it's essentially a card to be able to special summon your Blue Eyes monsters to your field. In my opinion, it's definitely the weakest card out of the support that we got. I mean, there's already a bunch of ways that you're able to special summon Blue Eyes anyway, so I felt like this card is just really unnecessary. It's nice, don't get me wrong, I don't think it's a bad card at all. It's just, we already have cards that can do this, that can be able to special summon your Blue Eyes to your field, so it's just more of the case of what's the point? What is there a point to really have another card that does it? Again, it's nice to have, but again, we already have cards that do this. So I think it's a good card, but I just feel like, you know, probably people are going to more cater towards other cards that can do it more than this card. But it's not a bad card to have if you don't have cards that can help you special summon your Blue Eyes out to the field. This is another alternative way that you're able to do it. So overall, it's not a bad card. It's just not a necessary card in my opinion. But that's going to be it for the new Blue Eyes White Dragon support. But general thoughts on the new support? The support is cool. To be fair, for me personally, I'm just not really as excited. I think the support is good. I just don't think we need it because me personally, I'm just tired of seeing Blue Eyes and Dark Magician getting support. I understand that Yugi and Kaiba are the most iconic characters in the franchise, but that doesn't mean that we always have to keep getting Blue Eyes and Dark Magician support. I love the fact that even though it was Yugi getting support, I loved back in Rise of the Duelists where we got, you know, Gaia's support. I love the fact that they were able to give support to that archetype and it was just not Blue Eyes or Dark Magician, which I wish they kind of did that a little bit more, or just give other characters from Duel Monsters some support, like Joey can get some support, maybe Merrick can get some support, Bakura, Pegasus, all of these iconic characters from Duel Monsters. You have a plethora to choose from, and yet you just still stick with Yugi and Kaiba, and I just think that we just need to calm down on it. So I don't think the support is bad at all. I think we got some pretty cool cards for the Blue Eyes archetype. I will say the only one I think was honestly the disappointing one out of the bunch was Apparition of Eyes of Blue, but I don't think it's a bad card. It's just, I don't think it's a necessary card to have, but the other cards I think is pretty nice for the Blue Eyes White Dragon support. And the final thing I'm going to say to end off this video is, where the hell is the Critias effect monster? I mean, you cannot tease us by giving us a Tamias effect monster in the Dark Magician support and not give us a Critias effect monster for the Blue Eye support. I mean, it was right frickin' there, Konami. How in the hell did you miss that? Now, maybe it's because they didn't want to overshadow it with Tamias, but come on, if you're giving Blue Eyes White Dragon support, why don't you give us a Critias effect monster, especially since Critias is used to summon Tyrant Dragon, and like I mentioned when I was discussing Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon, you use Blue Eyes White Dragon and Tyrant Dragon to make this card. Like, it makes so much sense to print Critias in this set as an effect monster, but, you know, they just ended up not doing that, which is really weird in my opinion, and I don't know how in the hell they missed out on that. Like, come on, Konami, step it up a little bit. But all jokes aside, that's gonna be it for this OCG TCG video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your guys' thoughts on the new Blue Eyes White Dragon support. Did you think the support was good? Did you think the support was okay? Or did you not really like the support at all? And let me know in the comments as well, do you guys think that we should have gotten or should get a Critias effect monster? Maybe it's just me, and maybe I'm the only person that wants to see a Critias effect monster and a Hermos effect monster for that matter, but obviously Hermos would make more sense if Joey Wheeler ended up getting his own support. But would you guys like to see a Critias effect monster, or do you not really care if Critias gets an effect monster version? Again, I would have loved to see a Critias get an effect monster, and I still can't believe they didn't do it with the support, but you know, I guess you just can't ask for everything, right? So would love to know your guys' thoughts on that, and again, your whole thoughts on the new Blue Eyes White Dragon support down below. But with that being said, that's going to be it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time guys, take care and have yourselves a great rest of your day.